Hi, everyone. Hi, all of you who are still here after our extended break.
They'll never leave.
No, you guys can't leave us.
Also, I feel like it's nice to have like a break from like a podcast that I follow because it's like I get inundated with so many notifications of new episodes on from the podcast app.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, I'll get to you whenever I can. Like people churning out episodes every week. It's kind of insane.
I turned off notifications. I pop on there when I'm ready and then I'll binge. I'll just
Yeah.
start binging because I know. So, as far as podcasting goes for me, when I listen to them, I will take an extended break from actually listening to anything
Yeah.
except for music. And then I'll go back to podcasts and I will binge episodes
Yeah.
throughout my workday. So,
Yeah. I mean, it totally is a comfort, that's for sure. But at the same time, I feel like you got to starve your audience every once in a while.
I hope you guys, I mean, you guys, we haven't even given you a morsel.
Yeah.
So you're
It's not
probably
like,
thirsty and hungry for more.
yeah, and it almost like guarantees a listen.
Yeah,
Uh,
because we're back.
like, oh, yeah, they haven't been up for a little while, but this is Mean Girls Interrupted.
And we are a movie review and recap
Yeah.
podcast. And
Can I
this
tell you,
week,
Travis?
oh, you can tell me.
Yeah, before we get into our movie, so I've seen several movies that,
I I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, John has been to the movie theater a million times. I'm
yeah,
still paying to go and I haven't gone.
you need to go because I saw Terrifier 3.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
And
I'm not going to say anything until you see it.
I am okay. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know if I'm in the headspace to watch
Yeah.
that right now
Okay,
because
but
all I can think
okay,
of
so
is
if you don't mind it then.
mashed potatoes.
Yeah,
And
that's exactly what I thought of too. I was like, do I want to go to the theater? Like I like made a rule. I was like, okay, so it's okay just to walk out. Like I was like, you can just walk out if it's too uncomfortable.
okay,
And uh to be quite honest with you, the second Terrifier is way worse than the third one.
is it because the second one, literally, I can never watch that movie again? It's been burned into my brain.
Yeah.
Truthfully, that movie is one of the most fucked up movies I've
It's
probably ever watched.
yeah, I know that like the press and everything was like saying the Terrifier 3 was like upped the ante and it was the worst of them all, but or the goriest, but no.
That
It's
movie made $50 million. Do you know it's the highest grossing not rated movie ever made?
yeah, they've been doing good. So congratulations to yeah, like
It's
this
effective.
it's effective, but like the stories aren't even there at all.
No, the
Like,
stories are the stories are trash, and they're kind of the thing is like they're fun to watch in a campy way, but when
yeah.
it gets to the gore, because I would say Terrifier 2 is definitely campy.
Yeah,
Um,
the Terrifier 3, not to just like go into a critique or anything, but they really leaned into Art the Clown's silliness. You
oh,
know what I mean? So it was like there were like full comic moments where they do that in the second one too, but he's way more like unnerving in the second one. Um but they have like full on like Art the Clown antics in the third.
okay. So it's more like I don't. I guess
He's endearing.
he really.
I
Ew. If
felt
it had been,
endeared by him.
but you didn't have to walk out.
No, no, not at all. Even though like they're and you know, I think we talked about it too, and you guys can all go to that episode. But like, um, yeah, there's something like so ridiculously heightened and unrealistic about the gore that it like you can separate it. You know what I mean?
Uh, you can separate it, but also seeing it sometimes is very like, oh
Yeah, mashed potatoes in the face was fucked. I cannot get that out of my
no, I'll
mind
never get that out of my head, not ever.
ever. Like
It's truly one of the most like disturbing.
demented. Yeah.
It is, dude. It is demented. I'm like, no, like
That
you
is
really
like
had
that's
to
something
do.
that you would see in like a really vivid nightmare and like wake up from and be like totally feeling weird the whole day.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure. And that movie, yeah, I'm not in the headspace right now to watch it. I will get back into it. Like
yeah,
I've kind of just been
yeah.
treating myself to like older Disney movies, which I
Older
watched
Disney
this.
movies.
Yeah, I watched this one called Darby O'Gill and the Little People. It came out in 1959. It
Oh,
was,
right. I remember that being on at my grandma's house. It's live action, right?
yeah, I loved it.
Yeah. And it's
I
all
loved
like,
it.
there's a banshee in that, isn't
Yeah,
there?
there is a banshee in there.
I remember the banshee being really cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think for the time,
This is
the
whenever I was a kid,
yeah,
obviously.
the ability for them to be able to do it and like
Yeah.
their forced perspective. I don't really know how they did these things, but
It's like watching Kroll or something.
it's I liked it. I like that movie a lot. So I've just kind of
Yeah.
been watching things that have kind of been making me feel a little happier. I watched James and the Giant Peach, which that's a lot darker than I kind of remember.
Yeah. He's like fully abused.
Yeah, the ants are really horrible.
Yeah.
They're really horrible. I did rewatch that. It still holds up to me,
Yeah.
but I think I was.
Isn't that is it Jennifer Lumley?
It is Jennifer Lumley, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, she does. She plays the part very well.
It's the Ab Fab
Yeah.
duo, right?
No, it's not the actual Ab Fab duo. No, it's just Jennifer Lumley.
Oh, okay.
And
For some,
I don't know who the other woman is, but it is not what is her name?
Saunders.
Oh, I think it is Jennifer Saunders who plays. Saunders is like the tall.
No, Saunders is the shorter one.
Okay, so it's Lumley. Yeah, Lumley's in this one, the taller one. You know, she would have made
Gotcha.
a really good uh is it Mrs. Havish? Who's Annie? Who's the one in
Oh
Annie?
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what's her face?
She would have played.
Hannigan, Miss Hannigan.
She would have been a really good Miss Hannigan.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I mean, we got a really good Miss Hannigan.
We do. We have a really good Miss Hannigan. So
Yeah, I
Carol
love it.
Burnett, you can never go wrong. It's Carol
No.
Burnett,
Yeah,
isn't it? Yeah.
yeah. I love when she's like pouring the liquor into the bathtub.
Yeah, she's crazy. She's so good.
Yeah, this whole month, I've been feeling spooky.
You I've been feeling spooky, but like
in a different kind
in a
of
different
way.
type of way. For any of you out there, and I want to address this. We've been gone. I've been dealing with my own mental health stuff, and
Yeah.
and it's okay. Like,
Yeah, sometimes you just need the time and space.
if you guys are listening to this and any of you are feeling down right now, everyone's going through it. Like,
Yeah.
life's hard. It is hard. It's very hard.
Mhm.
And, that's currently where I've been. So I've been gone,
Yeah.
and now I'm back, and I want to
Talk about Salem's
talk about Salem's Lot, which is currently streaming on HBO.
It has never not been streaming on HBO Max.
Oh,
Max,
yes, it
Max.
did Max.
It's a Max original,
It is a Max original.
which is so lame. Yeah. So I mean, it was Halloween yesterday at the
It
time of this
was.
recording.
Yes. Sorry we didn't give you any spooky Halloween movies this
But
year.
no, I've been watching them myself on my own. I've been revisiting the classics
Oh,
and classic horror. I've been so let's see here, put off by contemporary horror movies that have been coming out like over the course of the last decade, I guess, with the exception of a few.
yeah,
But
there's been some hits.
yeah, I mean,
Night House.
yeah, the year
Uh,
Barbarian came out, that was a good year. That was a good year.
Barbarian was good. Night House was good. We have
Night House, yeah.
we have the X trilogy,
The
which has
X
always been.
trilogy.
Well, there's another one.
The Substance was really
The Substance was
good.
good. Oh, also, I think The Substance was our last one. So I was thinking a lot about it, and I am changing my score from a 9 to a 10
Okay, cool.
because I had given it a
honestly,
9, and the more I thought about that movie, I was like,
yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that movie.
it's really good.
That movie's amazing, and the more I
the
see,
gore in The Substance is actually way more effective than Terrifier 3. There are
it,
yeah.
the spine when she
Yeah.
is taking fluid from the spine, John,
Yeah.
that shit was ruining me in my seat. I was like,
It
I
was
have to
crazy.
get out of here. Like,
Yeah.
she kept stabbing the spine. Like,
Yeah.
ugh.
Yeah. It's a way more effective in the substance. But also that I we have a movie subscription.
Oh,
So and that is a movie release, the substance.
oh, did you
Uh
rewatch it?
I did not. I think it came out on movie yesterday on Halloween. So but Coralie Farge,
Yeah.
I don't know, speak French, but she is her two other movies are on there. One is uh crazy violent like revenge like
What's it called?
horror. Oh, I forgot.
Oh, that's
I
okay.
think it's called Revenge. And
Oh,
that's it's cool. And but also should they have her short on which the substance is based,
oh,
and it's they have some of the same visual languages like the spine thing and whatnot, but it's more AI oriented.
oh,
And
interesting.
it's 20 minutes, it's good, it's solid, but you can see where she kind of where it could be adapted into what we know now as the substance.
Which we know and love. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's
yeah,
good.
that movie is good. I can't fault it. Even like the blood scene where I was so bothered by how much blood came out, and I was like, why? This
It's a
movie's
cool
already so
choice.
insane. Why not?
Yeah, like why not just take that extra last Hail Mary leap of faith and be like, okay.
John, there was some I was scrolling through Instagram. Somebody was dressed as
The star with the blob
the
on it. I
star.
saw that too. Yeah.
You did?
I think Katya, the drag queen,
Yeah.
posted it because I think she's like obsessed with the Substance movie.
It's so funny that somebody was the star
Yeah.
from the substance. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's definitely like a if you know, you know moment.
I think it has kind of a chokehold on people.
I mean, if I don't know, I have given up on like horror movies being nominated for like prestige awards, but if the substance doesn't get something, then it's it's just like, what are we even
It
doing?
needs something for makeup, like the practical makeup that they did was
Also,
so
just like
good.
the creativity behind Doll, like the concept,
Yeah, everything.
the
It was very
performances, the photography was really heightened.
yes.
Yeah.
John, that movie was so glossy.
And it's just like, it's like a piece of art. You know
It
what I
is.
mean? And yeah, if it doesn't get like recognized at a high level, it's just like, I mean, maybe they're just all bullshit award shows.
They are.
So,
I mean, they are at the end of the day,
if it's not like a historical biopic about Elvis, like nobody cares. Like,
which I don't care about that.
yeah. Yeah. So anyway, Salem's Lot.
Salem's Lot, everyone.
I am gonna wing it because I do not have it pulled up
I'm gonna
on the
pull it up
internet.
actually. Would you mind if maybe I did this?
Oh yeah, to go for it, please.
I'm just because I'm gonna wing it for you guys.
Yeah, Travis is gonna be pulling up the specs here on Salem's Lot
Yes.
now on Max.
Yeah, now on Max, but always has been and always will be.
It never left, and it will never go
And
away.
you know what? They might take it off. Who knows? They take everything
Yeah.
else off of
Oh,
there.
we know. You know what I need to do is like make a rolling list of the things that have been taken off of streaming.
It's so annoying that they take stuff off. But okay,
Yeah.
so it's starring Lewis Pullman.
Yes. Bill Pullman's son.
Yes, Bill Pullman's son, Mackenzie Lay, who I believe is, or Mackenzie Lee, I can't really tell, probably Lay.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Alfred Woodward, I'm not really sure. John Benjamin Hickey, Bill Camp, and
Oh,
some
do you have
other
their
people.
pictures right there?
No, I have
Who's the kid that plays he he ends up becoming a vampire?
Let me pull that up right now.
Yeah. Because apparently he was cast in my movie and I never even knew.
Oh,
So,
really?
Yeah, I just learned that. I was like, oh, okay.
Sure. Okay. I'm going to pull up the full cast and crew. Let's see.
Yeah. I learned that from the producer, like offhandedly. I was like, oh, like nobody told me
So
that.
Jordan Preston Carter,
Is that the
there's
one?
no, he's the black kid who rules.
I liked his character.
Me too. Oh,
He knew
Nicholas.
all the things.
Yeah, Nicholas Cravetti, I think is.
Maybe
There's
that's
also
it.
another one, and then there's a Cade Woodward and a Declan Lemerandi. Those are the only kids that are in this. There's like three kids, and I can't remember which one bites the dust first.
I see. Let's see here.
I think it's Declan. I think Declan is the one that's sacrificed, and Cade Woodward is.
Oh, Nicholas Crovetti is the one.
Where's he at? I don't even see him on here.
Nicholas Crovetti? Let me just double check this one. Yeah, this will be the one. He plays in the remake of Goodnight Mommy with
with Naomi Watts.
Yeah, did you watch that?
I didn't, because I think you told me that it was just kind of
Yeah, I have the original and it's so good.
Yeah, that tends to be
it's almost like you can't really mess with that one. It's so good.
Well, it's like how they did Let the Right One In. They didn't need to let me in. They did it frame for frame. And the American version it's fine. I mean, it is frame for frame, basically, for what Let Me In was. But it just doesn't, there's something about it that isn't as great for some reason. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe because
Let Me In was
so good.
Funny Games did it.
Funny Games did it correct when they did the remake.
It was Michael Haneke remaking his own foreign language film, shot by shot for the American audience.
That's why it held up. It's so
also
good.
Also with Naomi Watts, the queen of American remakes.
Honestly, though, that movie was so good. I remember watching Funny Games for the first time.
I think you told me to watch it.
Yeah.
You were like, you have to watch this.
It was so bleak. The ending was so bleak. And I remember when it ended, I was like, wow.
They really went there with killing the child.
That movie I'll never forget. It's one of those movies that I actually tell people about to this day. If they've never watched Funny Games, go watch Funny Games. It's not funny.
But there are games.
There are games, and there's no way to win.
Yeah, no, it's just like chaos.
There's no way to win.
So good.
That movie's very good. Oh, Salem's Lot. Jeez.
Salem's Lot.
Sorry, everyone.
Let's see.
You can tell how much we want to talk about this, clearly.
No shade at all, because I liked this movie.
You did? Oh, wow.
I could tell. I did. I liked it.
You did. Okay. You and I differ.
Okay. So we'll get to it whenever we get to it.
We will. Okay.
Because this is directed by Gary Doberman, who is a writer first. He has written a lot of horror movies that like James Wan has made. He did like the Annabelle creation. I think he had something to do with the It screenplay. He's like one of like a million different writers on the It franchise screenplays.
Because this one was written solely by him, it looks like.
Yeah, so written by him, directed by him, and and the producers are like Atomic Monster like people, which is James Wan and Michael Clear.
Oh yeah, I see that. Okay, so Warner Brothers, New Line, Atomic Monster, and Vertigo.
Yeah. So they're all.
There were elements of this movie I liked. I can't say I disliked this movie.
It looked really good.
Oh,
in my opinion, it was like it looked really, really good.
That is one of the things that I truly liked about this.
Yeah. So I mean, I think this is his first foray into like feature directing. Mr.
I liked the cinematography in this.
Yeah, he had a lot of control over that. I guess we're getting into the critique of it all.
Well, let's.
So I guess to just sum it all up, this is based off of a Stephen King novel. Yes. And the original movie that came out is like 3 hours long. I think it was a made-for-TV movie or something like that, because it's very long. Did you watch the original before watching this one?
I didn't. No.
I did.
Oh, you did?
I did. And there is a lot of nothing that happens leading up to whenever things start happening.
It's probably a good thing this movie is 113 minutes then.
Yeah. Yeah. This movie does. Maybe the reason why I liked it so much was like I was comparing it to what I had just watched, which was like very slow burn.
Yeah.
And this one gets right to it, all the vampiriness.
It does. It does jump into the vampires very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. But I can't tell you exactly how this movie starts because I forgot.
I will tell you. So Ben, who is played by Lewis Pullman, he's a writer. He returns to his hometown of Jerusalem's Lot to write a book about his childhood. And he befriends and starts a romantic relationship with Susan Norton, who's a local and who has an overbearing mother and dreams of leaving town.
Mm-hmm.
That is all from Wikipedia.
I was like, did you just read that? Because it was really good. I
sure did.
It was very succinct.
Yes, well, somebody wrote that for me.
Yeah. And Mr. Pullman, he and starts to talk about how he feels like some sort of supernatural force is pulling him towards this fascination with this old house, which is like a storied lore where I guess like people had died.
Yeah, something of that nature.
And there's new residents in town, and I'm getting queer vibes. And everybody, whenever I was watching the first one, there's definitely like a queer gay theme to it.
Oh, there is.
Like because so there's this fancy English antiques dealer in town has bought this old house that Lewis Pullman's like obsessed with, and nobody really knows who they are or why they're here or where they come from really, and it's two men who are living there, and everybody's like, so what does some so and so do? They're a little bit strange and blah blah blah. It's like if two gay guys moved into town,
right?
Oh, and they're they own like a fancy antique shop.
The only gays in the village.
Yeah, they are basically, and like so whenever I was watching the first one, I was like, oh, like so being a vampire is like a code for being gay in this movie,
probably.
And that's the way I took it.
Well, then this town is full of homos.
Yeah. And then the gays start spreading like wildfire.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Being gay is in this movie transferable.
Yeah, it's transferable. It is contagious. And everything that but
like hot contagion.
And like straight heteronormative people's deepest, darkest fear of being turned gay are realized.
Yep.
In this movie. And
that's pretty much what this movie is. That's Salem's Lot. Like
everybody becomes gay except for Lewis Pullman.
Yeah. But that's because he already was.
Right. You can't. Yeah.
So he couldn't be affected.
No, not at all.
He couldn't be affected. He already was. He was patient zero.
Yeah. He's like, nice try, guys.
Yeah, hardy har. Like, didn't work.
Yeah, it's like, it's cool. I'd be sucking all kinds. I already suck. And then I'm just trying to make jokes.
No, it's fine. I love it.
Is it working? I'm workshopping.
I like workshop. Listen, if you're going to workshop comedy bits, do it here on this podcast.
Thanks. Yeah. So Lewis, so the movie sort of like dips into the different townspeople's lives. Like you have a kid who's also new to town because it's like he's new to the school, and then a bully attempts to bully him, and he resorts to prison rules, which is beat the holy shit out of the person trying to pick on you. Otherwise, it'll only get worse.
Right.
So he beats the ever living crap out of his bully, and it works.
It does.
Have you ever tried that?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I have fought a bully before, and it works.
I No, I don't think I've. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
so sorry. I don't think I've ever fought a bully before. I have fought people before. I didn't like it.
Yeah. Yeah. Fighting,
I'm not a
whenever
fighting
like,
person. I hate it.
me too. Me too. But yeah,
Sometimes you have to. And some people are lucky to never have to skate through life, never having an adversary.
true. True. I always loved the mild gaslighting that would happen after I like fought a bully. And in hindsight, the bullying did indeed stop after that. Um, but it was almost like after the fight happened, the bully would then sort of act like I was the unreasonable one.
Yeah, like I can't believe this happened.
They're like, why would you do that? I was just having fun. I'm
It's
just
like,
like,
no, that is definitely gaslighting.
yeah, anyway, that's typical bully behavior.
Yes.
And let's all hope that they are alive and well. And
I'm doing better in their lives now. That's all
yeah.
I can hope. Is like maybe they've had a change of heart.
Yeah. So there is the theme of otherness in this movie as well. And the kid who is bullied, what's his character's name again? Let's see. He's obsessed with horror and like vampires.
His name's Mark.
Mark,
the character's name is Mark Petrie.
Yeah, Mark Petrie. He is obsessed with horror. He about vampires, werewolves, all the classics, and his little group of friends are like, "Wow, you're kind of like cool and nerdy," and so the kids start to get targeted by fancy Englishmen.
Yes.
And fancy Englishman kidnaps one of them and feeds him to is it Dracula? No.
I don't believe it's Dracula. I don't
Some
know.
Nosferatu looking motherfucker.
His name is Kurt. So Kurt the vampire.
Kurt the vampire.
Kurt the vampire is
Kurt the vampire.
One of the kidnapped children is fed to.
Yeah, so that's insane for me. I had no idea his name was Kurt.
Me either. I just learned that, and that has changed some things.
Yeah, he's an ancient vampire named Kurt, and he likes to feed on the children.
Yeah.
And so he starts to turn these children into vampires, and then the vampirism starts to spread from there. And it gets ookily and spookily. And
it does.
So the whole town is being turned into vampires one by one. And to the point where, you know what? It's just like you can't ignore it anymore.
No, they're everywhere. You literally can't escape.
Right. And so some people do, and it is ill-fated. And yeah, I guess the Bill Pullman's son, Lewis Pullman, has to take matters into his own hands with a ragtag group of people who are also still human. One of them is like a doctor or a coroner. She's
a doctor, I believe.
Yeah, and she's just sort of like, I don't really believe in vampires, but this is crazy. And
until she does. She doesn't believe in them until she does.
Yeah.
There's a moment in the morgue, which I actually thought was pretty cool. I did like the moment in the morgue.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yes. The moment in the morgue is fun.
Yeah. Anytime I think of moment in the morgue, I think of Neon Demon and that moment in the morgue.
There's been a lot of moments in morgues in movies.
Neon Demon's moment in the morgue, I was like, okay, work. But like question mark also.
Okay, well, we don't kink shame around here.
I will. I mean, if it does involve a corpse, I am calling the police.
Yeah. But I mean, if it involves Jenna Malone and a corpse,
cops, they're being called.
Yeah. So whatchamacallit? Yeah. So people who are apprehensive to believe there are vampires are quickly turned into believers of vampires because they are undeniable and trying to feed on your bloods.
They're trying to kill you. So what choice do you have but to believe?
Yeah. And so the cross motif works. The cross method works.
Yep.
On these vampires. The holy water works on these vampires. And this is all because of the kid. He like takes those comic books, and it turns out all these rules are real.
Yep.
And the crosses do be glowing, like as if they are LED lights.
And you can make a cross out of anything.
You can make a cross out of anything as long as you believe.
And you have to believe.
You have to have the faith. There is a Christian element to this movie, which is fun. And so you have to believe in good and in Jesus.
And good and evil. There's no in between. There's good and there's evil. And if you don't believe in the good, then
and there are Christians and then there are non-believers.
Yep.
And you gotta be Christian to survive these vampires. You gotta be full Christian.
Yeah, even the Christians don't make it.
Even the Christians don't make it. But
sorry,
you know what?
God can't help you here. Not in Salem's Lot. Not today, friend.
Not today, friend. But this whole movie culminates at the
drive-in,
the most obvious place, the drive-in.
Though, like, I mean, if pure evil is going to happen anywhere, it's at the drive-in. Can you imagine how many hand jobs, how many babies were conceived at the drive-in?
Yeah, then that's all pure evil because that's like premarital situations.
Yep,
it's homosexual situations.
Yep, there was so much debauchery at the drive-in. It's like
there is clear divide of good and evil festers at a drive-in.
Always, just festers is the perfect way,
and
I love it.
Yeah, I like that they were all inside of the trunks of their own cars.
Will actually. Okay, so when that first happened, because I never knew anything about Salem's Lot. This is my first introduction to Salem's Lot. Never watched any.
Welcome to Salem's Lot.
Welcome to Salem.
Jerusalem's Lot. Travis, you.
Yeah, population me. So when they were in the trunks of the cars, I was like, who closed all of those? But then it was probably them.
And it was probably them. No, because they have that deranged human woman who's underneath the spell of them.
Right, she is underneath the spell. You have
to have a human ghoul.
You do. It's
which is a common rule of that time with vampire movies. Because I rewatched another classic, which I have a better appreciation for now than I did back in the day, which is Fright Night.
Okay. I know which movie you talk about. I can't remember.
It's a vampire moves in next door kind of a thing. Yeah. And I
thought you were going to say Frighteners. And John, I'm obsessed with Frighteners.
Also good. Yeah.
Frighteners was such an amazing concept.
Yeah.
I want that to be remade. I love the original so much, but I really want to see what they can do with Frighteners now.
Yeah. I remember watching Frighteners in the theater and I walked out of that movie thinking to myself, like, that was cool.
That movie was of the time, like for the time, Frighteners was so cool.
Nothing had been made like it.
No, but okay. So,
anyway,
speaking of ghouls, Longlegs also had the ghoul.
Yeah, Longlegs
they had a woman who had to abide by these rules.
Yeah,
to keep.
Fright Night has a human ghoul.
Longlegs is so crazy. That movie is just the weirdest.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Salem is coming out with another movie pretty soon.
Okay,
The Monkey.
I'll watch it. I will watch it.
I'll watch it too, and we'll see how it goes. Yeah.
So back to debauchery.
The debauchery at the cinema.
Yeah.
So it's a whole knockout, drag out fight between good and evil vampires.
Between Kurt
and the townspeople who are vampires. But it ends up being between Kurt, all the other vampires die. Kurt, Ben.
It's Kurt, Ben, and Mark. Those are the last. Those are the last three standing.
The girlfriend. The girlfriend didn't make it. Sorry.
No, unfortunately, the girlfriend did not. All because the mom, for some reason, let her get bit. What?
I don't know.
I'm like, ma'am, this is your daughter.
But she's deranged and she has a shotgun too.
She does have a shotgun, and just like in Kill Bill, she's a fucking surgeon.
Yeah. It's crazy what she can, the damage.
I'll never forget that line in Kill Bill. When that woman shows up at the door and she's like, "You any good with that thing?" She's like, "Not that I have to be at this range, but yeah, I'm a fucking surgeon." That is one of my favorite lines ever in a movie because it's so perfectly delivered. And then the character's gone.
Yeah, it was a very so memorable cameo. Yeah,
it is. I'm like, good for you. I'll always remember that. Anytime I see a shotgun, I'm like, Kill Bill.
Yeah, she makes it out, and then she's like, "Congratulations!"
Yeah, congratulations.
So the movie ends with the deepest of throats.
Oh,
which is to say that the Kurt, the vampire, he gets impaled through the back of the head, through the mouth.
Does. Yes, he does.
There's a big old gaping hole in his head, in his mouth.
Yeah, in his head mouth.
Yeah, his head mouth, and then he dies.
He perishes, which I thought that scene was cool. I really, really loved the lighting when Mark was underneath all of that shit that had fallen.
Yeah,
and as the scene was closing out, it was framed so perfectly. Yeah. That was one of the things I was like, oh, okay. Yes.
We came here with cinematography
but
today.
I did kind of want more of that artsy fartsy, cinematography kind of like how Neon Demon was so, going back to Neon Demon, it was very, pure. Very thought out,
and this lighting, was too.
It was, don't get me wrong. And that scene at the end, I was like, that was very good cinematography.
Very good cinematography. And then the movie ends and they just move on, and there's still vampires around.
There are still vampires, but they're going to be hunting them fuckers.
So that's Salem's Lot, everyone. Go watch it now on Max.
There are very good elements to this. Do not get me wrong. Don't take my beginning statements.
Travis, what can I ask you a question?
Sure, ask me.
What did you like least about this movie?
I guess for me, I think what I liked least about this movie, which also is something that I did like about it, was kind of how quick it moved. Yeah, but it also moved so quick that I felt like it felt like we were brushing through us. It felt like we were just kind of brushing through a story because it felt a little anticlimactic. That my issue was while there were some really cool moments, when they were in the church and the guy who tried to escape 15 minutes earlier gets thrown through the window and his whole throat and everything's gashed.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. Also, when the doctor was almost helping them and gets shot by the shotgun, I wasn't expecting it. And I fully was like, oh, I'm into that. Yeah. So there were some things that I really liked, but it just felt like we kind of brushed
glossing over.
Yes.
It felt like the director just wanted to get to the next moment all the time.
And maybe that wasn't a choice that they wanted to make. Maybe that was something that had to do with editing or going back, but it did felt like you said, it felt glossed over. I felt like Straker, who is the antiques dealer, I felt like his death was way too easy. All of these things that felt a little too easy. There didn't feel like enough.
Yeah, it was almost like these things were happening in an effortless kind of fashion.
Yes, but as far as what I did like the cinematography. I liked when the guys were going downstairs in the beginning, delivering the casket, cool. And the light from their the tailgate,
the tail lights. That was
the tail lights. I really was like, oh, okay. So they really thought, how would these lights play into this? And those are things that I look at that I do enjoy. Do I think that the acting was good? Yeah. Do I think I don't think this movie is bad.
Yeah. I think that.
But let me reverse then and ask you, what did you like? What was your rose? What was your thorn?
Okay. So thorniness would be, it's similar to yours, where it felt like, where there was a really impactful moment, I wasn't feeling the impact of that moment.
Yeah.
Whenever the doctor does end up dying, it's a huge moment.
It's a huge moment.
I'm like, why am I not feeling it? You know what I mean? I don't know the answer to that at all, but I'm just like, these big moments are just like, oh, I know, like the movie's telling me that I need to be feeling this sort of way, but I'm not. And I
Right.
don't know why.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that has to do with like character development or like, yeah, I don't know.
It just felt fast.
Yeah.
I do like a movie that's shorter. Don't get me wrong, but also this movie just it felt
Yeah.
just I don't know.
Maybe it had to be because like the original movie is very
You
slow.
saying it is 3 hours, I'm like, I don't know if I could
Like
do three hours of that.
they actually don't. There's a whole lot of to do of like the delivery of the coffin thing, and that delivery of the coffin doesn't happen until like, I don't know if I'm getting this wrong, but like 1 hour into it.
I can't remember, which is weird because everything does kind of take place within this very short amount of time. You get a lot of like
Yeah.
Ben and the girlfriend and all of this in the beginning, and then basically all of the townspeople are dead. And I kind of didn't like knowing like we cut from one scene where like two people had been turned, and then everybody was a vampire,
Yeah, like it's happening all off camera, obviously, but
which is fine. But also, I didn't realize like it took place that quickly,
yeah.
which is
Yeah.
fine. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, the
But
rules don't really you know, stay consistent,
I kind
obviously.
of compare a lot of vampire movies these days, and maybe you guys won't agree with me, to 30 Days of Night, because I remember
Mm.
when I watched 30 Days of Night in the theater
So good.
and being
There's
completely
some 30 days of night
transformed.
ish in this movie.
Yeah, that movie kind of transformed how I thought of vampires because I thought it was so clever. Why wouldn't you go to a place that is night
Yeah.
consistently?
With like
Like,
Alaska.
that's
Yeah.
brilliant. Like it's
Yeah.
literally brilliant. And I think it was based off of a graphic novel, but that's neither
Yeah.
here nor there because that's not Salem Lot. But I do think about those things. And I know this book was written by Stephen King and it was of a different time, but also
Yeah. Yeah. I see.
do people can
Yeah.
just not adapt his movies that well? I mean, some of them are adapted. I
Pretty
love some of
good.
them, and some of them
Yeah.
I really despise.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say, I don't know. Like, there's some are more effective than others, that's for sure. But this is not a bad one.
This
This
is
is
not a
not,
bad one. This isn't a movie that I
yeah.
despise by any
Right.
means.
Yeah.
It exists.
Yeah. It exists. Did you watch Doctor Sleep?
That was one I was going to watch the other night. And I was like, am I prepared to watch this? Because I've heard Dr. Sleep is good.
Um,
But is it
it's
not?
similar though. It's like it has its good merits.
Oh,
Yeah.
but it's one that's kind of like, oh,
Yeah. Whether or not it's a faithful adaptation, I don't know because I didn't like read the source material, but um, yeah, there's cool visual elements in there.
okay.
Indeed, terrifying things do be happening, but yeah, with that one, I was left a little bit in the same boat as like Salem's Lot, where the impactfulness of certain things just weren't
It didn't pay
hitting
off.
me. Yeah.
Okay.
But maybe
So
that's just me.
I don't, maybe, but I don't know. Maybe we can get into the review of it in a little bit. But as far as like
Maybe we
your
just need very
review,
intense things.
maybe that's who we are as people now
Like The
because
Substance, 10.
a
Yeah.
10. That movie was a 10, but also I think it was a 10 only in the sense is it's something we've never seen before. And
Yeah.
I think that's what takes it up. If it's something I've never seen before, which is why I go back to 30 Days of Night, I'd never seen anything like that. And it was like a graphic novel, obviously, but I'd never even considered, like, yeah, go to Alaska. It's night there.
Yeah. And
Like,
also, it was just like the vampires were so creepy and it was terrifying.
they were
And
so creepy.
yeah.
Um, but so
Original.
out of 10, what would you give this?
I would give this like a solid,
Wait. Out of
yeah.
10, um, out of 10 girlfriends being fed to a vampire by their mother, what would you give this?
I would give this seven children, girlfriends being fed to a vampire by their mother. Because did I say seven?
You did. You said 7.
Okay, I'm gonna give it a 6.
Okay.
Because it's not a bad film, but it's also not a great, amazing film. I think that this is an excellent showcase for Gary Doberman as a director. He's a screenwriter first. I think this is a phenomenal first movie for him. And it shows that he's got what it takes to make something really visually striking. It was visually very original, in my opinion. That's how you, I mean, it's how you take, I mean, it could have been filmed in many different ways. And I think the way that they chose to film this was excellent.
Right. So, okay. I'm going to go ahead and give this, I'm right there with you with a 6. Like when I say 6, like I didn't hate this movie. But this movie is a 6 and I agree with everything you said, to be honest. Like I don't really have any input outside of what I've already said, basically. Like it's got its moments and it doesn't.
Yeah. And
it's done well.
Yeah. Respectable, done respectably well. The no qualms with the acting. No one's like, not acting well.
Yeah.
There's just something tonally about it where I'm just like, yeah, cool. It happened. Nice. Okay.
Yeah. Like here it is. Like good.
Yeah.
This movie can live on Max.
It can just live on Max until Max decides to delete it and then it doesn't exist anymore. By the way, did you start watching Uzumaki on Max?
I haven't.
Get into it.
So I saw somebody do like their own little stop motion animation of it. And I was like, I have to watch this show.
I personally really enjoyed that.
And I know it's just like exists within its own little, there's not going to be another season, I'm guessing.
I'm not getting the vibe of another season.
I don't think it is, right? Like pretty positive it's not.
Yeah, but there was another animated Max original called Scavenger's Reign.
Loved.
It got canceled and then nominated for an Emmy.
They canceled it?
Yeah.
Yo, that actually irritates me. Okay, first, we're going to get to that in a second. I'm doing the Rotten Tomatoes of Salem's Lot.
Okay, go for it.
Bitch about
Scavenger's Reign being canceled.
Popcorn meter and tomato meter. So popcorn meter, 40%, Salem's Lot. So the audience was like, eh. And the tomato meter wasn't great either. They gave it or the tomatometer is a 45%.
Whoa.
So it didn't get great, but I'm going to go into a couple of the reviews. We're going to do top critics instead of all critics, but basically everyone's kind of exactly where we are. So Jacob Aller of the AV Club says Salem's Lot rises after years in the dark, a vampire tale with no heart and no stakes. So basically a splat. But this person from Financial Times, which is weird. Financial Times has their own movie review. Sure. Jonathan Romney says, and this is a tomato, until you reach the clever drive-in climax, you won't be surprised by much, but you won't be too bored either. You indeed may find it, as per Mr. King, quite good. And then we have a splat.
Quite good is a funny way to put it. It's like, it's quite good on paper reads as like, oh my gosh, really good. But saying it out loud is like, oh, it's quite good.
Yeah. So this is another splat, and then we'll end on another good one. This is from Peter DeBruge of Variety. Says, what if an outbreak of vampirism struck your community? A tepid new feature version returns to that question a half century later, offering flashes of style and a more satisfying finale in an otherwise weak take on its dated source material. That's a splat.
I couldn't put it better myself. However,
and this is the last.
It has merit.
It's but this one, I don't agree with this. But this is from the Daily Beast from Nick Shager. He says, a reasonably faithful and effective thriller, light on legitimate frights, but polished and unnerving. You know what? I do agree with him.
Yeah,
I do.
Everyone's saying lackluster, tepid, like the water.
I mean, we kind of, you and I actually, and just so you guys know, we actually don't even look at reviews before we give our review, and then we'll come in. I just barely am reading this. While we may have given it a 6, everybody else thinks it's a 40. I think it's better than a 40, but
me too, because it wasn't horrible at all by any stretch of the imagination.
It is a bit boring. I mean, boring in the sense that like they did kind of gloss over a lot of things. It's not very.
Yeah.
It's just.
Guess what else was tepid?
Tell me.
Maxine, remember?
Oh, right.
It felt similar in that it was just like, yeah, I know, but it's like it's not as impactful as
it wasn't as impactful as
hope.
It wasn't as impactful as X and Pearl, and I think the reason being for me, I think for you, because I do think we talked about this, is we hyped that shit up so much. I hyped it up in my mind so much, and I think it just felt a little. It
didn't deliver the goods.
It didn't deliver the goods. Only,
and it's a movie called Maxine that, while Maxine is in every scene and mostly every shot, doesn't really feature Maxine a lot.
It's not really about Maxine.
It's her almost as like an observer.
Yeah, true.
Of all these other things, and I'm like, she's seems and feels very passive and underplayed.
It's as if they wrote it through the eyes of Maxine, who is going through like derealization.
Yeah,
like she's on the outside looking in, just like you said. She's not really part of her own reality.
Yeah, and she's not really engaging with the scenes,
which is unfortunate.
She has very little dialogue.
I love the movie, but also I'm like, oh, bummer.
Yeah, who knows what's going on there?
That was a bummer.
That's a bummer. But you know what? We have Frankenstein.
I cannot. I'm not even going to say it. I'm not going to say I can't wait because I hope it's good.
Yeah.
I can't wait for Nosferatu. Truthfully, I'm excited
Christmas
for that.
Day.
I'm excited for Nosferatu. I'm excited for Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Bring back these old Nosferatu. Better deliver. It just has to. Remember that movie with the vampires on the boat and we didn't watch it? What was that movie?
Vampires on the boat.
Yeah, like snakes on a plane.
Vampires on a boat.
Yeah.
I mean, I would watch a movie called Vampires on a Boat.
Remember, it was like the older. It was fairly recent.
the last voyage of Demeter.
Yes.
I almost watched it, but I decided not to.
There we go. See, and there we have it.
Yeah.
They gave everything away. They gave everything away in it. Kind of like that. What was that ballerina vampire movie we just watched?
Abigail. So lame.
That movie was dumb.
I watched Speak No Evil with.
Did you like it?
I ended up liking it a lot more than I thought I would because I had been seeing that trailer every single week going to the movies. And
that's the one with Halle Berry.
No, that one is Never Let Go, which I also saw.
Speak No Evil is the one with the tongue cut out.
The tongue trailer moment.
Yes.
So that one I enjoyed more than I thought that I would. But looking at it, the trailer just tells you everything that happens in the movie.
Yes, and I hate that.
Yeah, because I was like, wait a minute. So this part of the trailer hasn't shown up yet, so no one's gonna die.
Halle Berry, how was that one?
It has strong merits, devolves towards the end.
Bummer.
Yeah, but very freaky imagery. Yeah.
Okay, cool. See, that's what I wanted. I wanted some freaky imagery. Also, I love Halle Berry, and I really want her to do something less like. I feel like that one was like very Hollywood. I don't know what the budget was for that, but it seems like when they make those Hollywood horrors like that they're trying to do high budget. Give it a low budget. Yeah. Give it something that's like very. And
that movie had a very high budget. I looked into it. I was like, what?
Yeah,
Are you kidding me?
Well, it looks like it, and it looks like a movie, like you said, that kind of devolves. Like they give you good, but also you're like,
Yeah. Well, I'm familiar with the production company who like did that Halle Berry movie that Never Let Go, and their thing I had like a relationship with them for a bit, and like the horror that they were looking for like sort of their mandate was you can get as dark as humanly possible, but it has to end on an uptick. Oh. And I was always confused by that a little bit, but I got it. And then they do it in Speak No Evil, and I was like, oh, okay, I don't like that. Like, I don't like that at all. I want darkness and full of terrors and stuff.
I mean,
yeah.
I haven't watched them. I will watch them eventually. I probably won't see Speak No Evil just because I already know what happens in that.
Also, I didn't realize that it's a remake it's an American version of a Danish film.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and you can watch the Danish one on Shudder, no less.
Oh, really? I am subscribed to that, and I haven't logged in since the last movie I started and got 3/4
You're just
of the way
throwing
through
that money in the garbage, aren't you?
I don't know why. I want to.
There's nothing on Shudder but this movie.
Oh.
And it's not called Speak No Evil. It is now, I guess, but it was like originally like the visitors or something like that, the guests or something like that.
Oh.
And the Danish version is a lot more subtle. And yeah.
Okay. Maybe I'll check it out.
Maybe. Well, Travis, we did it again.
We did. We always do it. We haven't done it in a while, but we're
going to do it again.
We are going to do it again. I don't know what movie we're doing next, but we will be back next week.
Yeah.
At some point. I'm not sure which day we're going to publish. We'll publish when we publish.
We publish when we publish, and we're going to keep you guessing every step of the way. So you better follow and make sure you get that notification whenever we do drop another episode, because you can't count on us or rely on us to do this every week.
I wouldn't. I just wouldn't. We're going to try to, but guess what? As we said, life be life and
life be life and yeah.
So
well, with that, Travis, I'm going to have to see you at the movies.
Roll the credits, you Shudder subscription that I literally am going to go cancel after we do this, because I completely forgot that I was subscribed to that until you told me.
Yeah, they are the trash can that you are throwing that money into.
Yeah, I have to cancel it. So roll the credits that. Oh, and Kurt. Roll the credits, Kurt.
Kurt the vampire.
Kurt
Goodbye.
Ugh.